And welcome inside Delaware Live Sports. Nick Alessandrini, now joined by the first player to have all first team, all conference, and all first team, all state accolades in the state of Delaware. That is Jyare Davis, the former Sanford Warrior and former Providence Friar. And now we have a chance to talk to him right now. Jyare, welcome into the studio. How you feeling?
I'm feeling well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad we were able to get together. Fresh out the dentist, right? You're feeling good? And Jyare, just first, thanks for coming on. And how's it feel to be back home? You said you've been back home since March.
It feels really good to be back home. With everything going on with COVID, we didn't get a chance to come home during the basketball season this year. So it's really cool to be back home, see my family. Nice to get back.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, just to get things started, last time that we saw each other, you were at Sanford your senior year, and you guys were actually going for another state championship, and then this whole thing happened, the whole COVID pandemic. It shut down our season. We were to the final four teams. Just quickly to rewind, how does that remember for you? How do you remember that, and kind of how that whole thing unfolded back then?
I definitely remember that vividly, actually. It was definitely heartbreaking. That day, we actually had school canceled the next day, which was a Friday. And then the Big East and all the different conferences started canceling their tournaments. And then I think March Madness might have got canceled too, but we were still supposed to play the next day. In the following days, we were going to play without fans or with just family.
Yeah.
So we were kind of bummed out about that. We were like, all right, we were kind of accepting the fact that there'll be no fans, but at least our families will see us. And we were kind of okay with that. Coach gave us a talk about it only matters is us.
Yeah.
All we have is each other. And we were all really pumped to get the game going. And then our athletic director came in and told us it was canceled. And it was definitely heartbreaking, guys crying, our last games together, last time at Sanford. So it was definitely a sad moment, definitely hurt. But, yeah, it definitely still hurts.
Yeah, I mean, you said it yourself there. It's going to be some of the last time that you played with some of those guys. And, just an unexpected, abrupt ending like that. I mean, that had to be tough. Going back, how do you think you guys would have did?
To first mention what you said about last time playing with some of those guys. I started going to Sanford 8th grade.
Yeah.
So a lot of those guys I've been teammates with since like 8th, 9th grade.
Yeah.
So it definitely was rough to see my basketball career with them end. And as far as what I think would have happened, I definitely think we would have won a championship that year.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
I mean,
we were rolling.
You got two, right? That would have been number three had you been able
three.
to finish the season. Again, first player with 4 All-State honors, all 4 consecutive years. Again, Jyare Davis, now University of Delaware Blue Hen. So we'll just jump right into that. That's the big news. Came out a couple weeks ago. I mean,
yes.
The buzz around here, it's buzz, and everybody's excited to see you come back home and play. What kind of went into that decision to come back home and play for the Blue Hens?
My year at Providence, there was a lot of trials and tribulations. Had a concussion early in the year and missed like the first 14, 15 games. And then towards the end of the year, I also got a little sick. So I definitely thought I could find a better situation for me basketball-wise. And when I thought about it, the first place I thought about was UD. And as soon as I entered my name into the portal, they were one of the first schools that called me. And they constantly recruited me in high school. And I had a very familiar feeling with them. So it almost seemed like a no-brainer to go to UD.
Yeah, and now we'll talk a little about, have you talked to Coach Inglesby, obviously, before that, out of high school? Did you talk to him a little bit, get to know him, and then did that go into your decision? And have you had a chance to maybe meet any of the guys that have been on the team? They should have a good team next year, a lot of guys coming back. Have you had a chance to talk to them at all?
Yeah, for sure. In high school, Coach Inglesby definitely recruited me, and Coach McCray, one of the assistant coaches. And even back then, I definitely was very close to them. That was really hard to go to a different school to start off with, just because what a great relationship I had with them. I also have got a chance to meet some of the guys on the team, Ryan, Kevin, Dylan. I actually had to play with Dylan at an open gym the other week.
Oh, cool.
It was pretty cool. Gianmarco, Andrew. So I definitely have relationships with some of the guys on the team, Anthony. So it's definitely cool because I definitely like those guys. I'm looking forward to play with them.
And we talked a little bit right now about the COVID whole thing and how that whole thing started. How did that affect your freshman year? Because that's got to be tough. You're leaving to go to a new place, a new school, everything's starting over. But not only that, it's got to be even more difficult because you have the COVID precautions. You have all the safety measures. You have it's so different, it seemed, that year, your freshman year of college. How did that make things more difficult, if it did at all?
I mean, it definitely was a lot different. Even aside from basketball, I'm not too much like a party guy or anything, but there was just really nothing going on campus. So, you were literally just playing basketball, just sitting in your dorm, it felt like. And then even at basketball-wise, you got there later. Usually freshmen get the chance to get to school in around June, late May, and get there early, get workouts in, get prepared. I didn't get a chance to do that because of, COVID and having to go to school a little later. I definitely think I adjusted well as the season went on for sure, but definitely could have slowed down the adjustment process just because those extra months that I would have been there didn't have a chance to get there and get adequated.
Yeah, and now you talked about it, obviously an interesting freshman year for you with everything that's happened as we just talked about. What did you learn about yourself, maybe about your game during that whole period of time?
I learned a lot, actually. A lot of people might have looked at my experience at Providence as something that might help, like, led me to lose confidence, something like that. And I actually think it was reverse. A lot of the time I was, wasn't healthy, wasn't able to play. But I feel as though, personally to myself, I definitely proved to myself I can play at that high level. So I know that myself, and I'm just looking forward to showing it.
And also, obviously everyone that's known you here for a while at Sanford and at Delaware, you did a little work with USA Basketball, as did your former coach, Stan Waterman. Talk a little bit about all those experiences. I believe you got to play in Argentina, playing some great games with the 17-year-old, I believe, and 16-year-old team, 18-year-old team. Just talk a little about your USA Basketball experience and kind of how that helped you get to this level.
I remember when I was younger, you see like ESPN rankings and you see like different USA teams and stuff, and that was always like a dream to me. Mm-hmm. And it was really amazing to be able to get older and like see that kind of come to fruition with myself. It's definitely cool to be able to represent the United States. I played a 3-on-3 team, U18, and I was in Argentina, and that was definitely cool. Especially because you go over there, like you're like a superstar to them. You're from the United States, big-time basketball player. So it's definitely an awesome experience. Got to see a different culture. I got to see kids from all over the world. So it's definitely an awesome experience.
Talk a little bit about the teams you play. What countries did you guys play against? Did they play a different style of basketball that maybe threw you off a little bit? Was it kind of the same? What country or countries stood out to you when you played there?
We played Brazil.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember some of the teams. It was
crazy countries. Yeah.
Crazy countries. But it was definitely cool. They definitely do play basketball different. It's just crazy even playing basketball against somebody, and like when they're talking to each other, it's a different language.
Yeah,
so you don't know what they're saying. So there's a lot of different things about it that was definitely cool and a very unique experience.
And now we'll kind of go back to the Blue Hens, University of Delaware. Again, Nick Alessandrini with Jyare Davis transferring from Providence over to University of Delaware now. Again, won a couple state championships, could have had 3 at Sanford and the Warriors. And Jyare, we talked a little bit earlier. You mentioned you had seen the guys play. You had met and talked with a few of them. How do you see yourself fitting into that Blue Hen team and kind of molding together, building that team chemistry?
I think I'm definitely fitting well. I can score the ball at 3 levels. I can really defend, can rebound. So I'll be able to definitely bring a lot to the table for us. And we're definitely going to be good. I don't think a lot of people know that, but we have a lot of players coming back, a lot of senior, older guys who, have a lot of experience. And I think we're going to be really good next year.
And what kind of position do you see yourself kind of inserted in playing here? Your natural 3, or what's kind of the position you envision yourself playing for Delaware?
I think I'm a wing, like a natural 2-3. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm very versatile. I can guard a lot of different positions. I can score from different areas, around the court. So I definitely think Coach Inglesby will be able to use me in a lot of different ways.
And Jyare, I don't know if you paid attention. Obviously, you said you did the last couple of years. They've been so close in that CAA tournament, just right. Maybe a scoring drought of 2 minutes where they go on, or the other team goes on a 12-0 run. They've been so close with the guys that they've had and able to make a CAA tournament run, maybe a run like you were talking about to the NCAA tournament. And now, like you mentioned, those guys are back. What kind of season do you envision going forward, and what can you guys accomplish as a team?
Personally, I'm really taking this personal. Like, back home in Delaware, and I really want to do this for like the state of Delaware. I definitely want to, of course, be a part of March Madness, win the conference, and I really think that's something that we could do, and it's something I'm definitely looking forward to trying to do.
Absolutely. And Jyare, we talked before we went on. You were number 13 at Providence. There's been a lot of number changes. The NFL, everybody's changing numbers. Everybody's
right.
changing numbers around here. You're coming back home to Delaware. Is there a jersey number change in your future, or what do you think?
No, I'm not going to change my number.
Stick with 13?
Yeah, I actually got this number by accident, though.
Yeah, let's hear that.
I was playing football. I played a lot of football when I was growing up, and I actually used to like football more than basketball. I was really good at football. I played quarterback.
Nope.
And so that year remember Cam Newton was at Auburn?
Oh, yeah.
And he was number 2 at Auburn. So I was playing quarterback, and I really wanted number 2. And you had to put like a bunch of other numbers you would be okay with getting 2.
Okay,
and 13 was my second option. So I was really upset about not getting 2. But then I had a really good football season that year, so I kept 13 for the basketball season that came up. And then ever since then, I just always kept that number.
Hey, there you go. Why go away from it? You got a couple state championships, 4 all-state honors. Again, you had to deal with COVID your freshman year, but now ready to get things going at the University of Delaware. Jyare, now again, What kind of accomplishments or maybe goals have you set for yourself for this season? We talked about the team and the goals like that. You said you were taking it personal this year coming back home. Is there anything that you have in your mind that you just really want to accomplish and that think you can do this year?
In general, I just want to be a help to my teammates. I just want to be able to help my coach, help my teammates. I just want to be able to provide for them and, help us win games first and foremost.
And I don't know if you had the chance to see, Sanford did win the state championship this year. Obviously, a year hiatus when you guys had to stop in the Final Four. But head coach Stan Waterman, someone you know very well, did a phenomenal job this year. They were able to beat Smyrna, take home another state championship. And obviously, you've heard the news. Head coach Stan Waterman is heading to Delaware State, so his 30-year career is over at Sanford. Just talk a little bit about Coach Waterman and his effect on your career and just how well have you gotten to know him over the years?
I know Coach very well. We were on his, I played for him since 8th grade. We had a lot of great games, a lot of bad games together, though. But I'm definitely very excited for him, starting a new journey, and I wish him the best for sure. We're both starting a new journey, so it's definitely going to be cool.
And Jyare, you mentioned you'd be able to play here at home in front of your friends and family now after a year at Providence. So what does that kind of mean to you, being able to now almost, it seems like every game at home, you're going to be able to have your friends, your family at the Bob Carpenter Center. It seems everything's opening back up again. How excited are you to just play here in the blue and gold for Delaware?
It really does mean a lot, especially for younger kids from Delaware. You don't get to see a lot of players who play like Division I basketball or play pro. So I definitely want to be almost like a sense of like hope or something, or a person that younger kids aspire to be like. And I really want, younger kids to look at Delaware as a place like when I get older, I want to go there.
Exactly.
So I definitely look forward to playing at Delaware. My grandfather actually works at University of Delaware.
Oh, there you go.
My whole family's going to University of Delaware, so it's going to be really cool to be able to have all of them at my games. And, a lot of people from the state, when I see people, like just see them randomly around different places, seem really excited to come to games. So it's definitely going to be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Everyone here in Delaware is looking forward to it, Jyare. And, while we have a minute here, how would you like to do a little lightning round? I can ask you a bunch of questions in a row, more lighter stuff. We'll kind of get into it that way. Sound good?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. No timer, but I'm going to do a quick timer here for the lightning round. We'll get it started with favorite food.
Probably barbecue wings.
Barbecue wings, there you go. Next up, favorite athlete, any sport.
Dead or alive.
Both.
Kobe Bryant dead, and then favorite basketball player now is Jason Tatum. So
Jason Tatum,
yeah,
really?
Jason Tatum.
We'll go back to that and talk a little bit about that. Favorite animal?
Wolf.
Wolf, I like that one. Xbox or PS5?
Xbox.
There we go. I'm Xbox team. Favorite NBA team?
I'm a really big Eagles fan, like a diehard Eagles fan. So is my family. I'll say like the Sixers now. I've been following the Sixers a little bit since I like the Eagles. I was like the Sixers too.
So Sixers. Eagles are your favorite sports team.
Favorite sports team.
All right,
any
we'll
sport.
Pause the lightning round for a second to talk a little bit about that. What do you think about their season coming up? They drafted Devontae Smith. They got Jalen Hurts. A lot of people are down on the Birds this year. What are you thinking?
I'm always hopeful for the Eagles,
right.
And I was a big Jalen Hurts fan when he was in college. And I like Devontae Smith a lot, so I definitely think we'll be all right this year.
Yeah, hey, Jalen Hurts, number 2.
Yeah, I think we made the playoffs, too.
Yeah, I'm a big Devontae Smith fan also, so high expectations.
Yeah, for sure.
At least higher expectations than other people got
right.
For the Eagles. But you said Sixers, favorite basketball team, and how do you think they're going to do in the playoffs? Obviously, they just got their series underway. Big win yesterday over the Hawks, but do they got a shot against Brooklyn?
I think they'll win this series in like 5 or 6.
Okay.
And then, I don't think anybody has much of a shot against
I don't want to
Brooklyn.
get caught on the air saying it, but I'm telling you, I've been saying it for months. The Nets are just, even without Harden, the way they're taking care of Milwaukee is just insane.
Yeah,
so hopefully,
maybe
maybe they'll pull something out in the next series. If they're hopefully they can get there. We'll just have to wait and see. So favorite NBA team, Sixers. Favorite sports team, the Eagles. Dream job outside of basketball, if you had to choose something other than basketball.
That's a great question. I don't know. I guess it's still basketball.
Yeah. Hey, as long as we're not in the court playing, maybe not.
I think it would be cool to be an assistant coach.
Yeah, that would
on a college team, like a big time college program, be an assistant coach somewhere. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, something in your future. You never know when you wrap up after you bring home a few
basketball.
CAA
Or
titles
actually,
first.
I'll take that back. Be an announcer, like with Shaq. And,
there you go. See,
Shaq and Charles
that's what
Barkley.
I want to do. So you're right. I'll have to bring you on there one day. Then once we get there,
That'd definitely be fun.
Dream city. Where do you want to live? Your dream city to live when you're older.
Well, when I get older, I don't know, somewhere nice, maybe like in Florida, Texas, California, something like that.
I think the last person we talked to was Lorenzo Carrier from Appo, and he said South Beach. So we got one Florida. So what do you think?
But I really want to play, if I go to the NBA, of course, I really want to play with the Sixers.
Yeah,
I think I've always thought about that since a little kid, how awesome that would be to play for the Sixers. So hopefully I'll be living in Philly in a couple years.
Yeah, that'd be the dream right there.
Definitely be the dream.
All right, Jyare, favorite warm-up song? You're about to take the floor. You're on the hardwood putting up some shots and warm-ups. What song's playing?
Favorite warm-up song? Maybe Be Something by Polo G.
Okay, Polo G. I was going to say, so you got Polo G there, Be Something, and then now favorite artist. You can either stick with Polo G or your favorite artist right now. I know you're rocking a Juice WRLD Legends Never Die shirt right there. That's one of my all-time favorites, but favorite artist for you right now?
My favorite artist in general, like ever, is Juice WRLD. And then my favorite artist right now, I like Lil Durk and Baby.
There you go. Yeah, perfect. That's good answers here out of Jyare Davis right now, heading back to University of Delaware. Jyare, we're going to keep this going. Favorite movie?
Creed. Easy.
Creed. Oh, that was easy. No hesitation.
Yeah,
let that one fly. There you go. Favorite book? You read it all?
Yeah, when I grew up, like growing up, I used to read a lot of books, and then naturally as I got older, got a phone, and started doing other things.
More articles, more sports stuff,
video
right?
games. Yeah. I stopped reading as much. But my favorite book is Mama Mentality by Kobe.
No, that's a
really good book.
A good one. I've never read it, but I can just tell from the title. I know what Mama Mentality is all about, so that was probably a real good one. And favorite thing to do outside of basketball? It can be a hobby when you're not shooting, putting up shots, getting work on the hardwood. What are you up to?
I really just like to play with hang with my friends, play video games, go to the beach.
Yeah,
normal
go
kid
see
stuff.
back
Just
home
like to
now.
hang out.
Was there? I guess there's some shore over Providence, right? You ever get there?
I couldn't tell you. I was basically on campus.
Exactly. You mentioned it, locked up in due to the COVID pandemic over at Providence. Well, again, now you're back home. Got the beach only an hour and a half away. So, what video games you play? So you're an Xbox guy. What's your go-to right now?
Well, I'm big with Madden. I play a lot of Madden.
You play competitive Madden, like you get your boys over and you're going on.
I play a lot of Madden. But my friends don't really like Madden as much, so none of them want to play me.
I would tell you, see, that's how when I used to play, all my friends like, man, that game cheats. I can't play that game. Like, that game's not fair. I'm like, all right, man.
And then we play a lot of 2K.
2K.
A lot of 2K.
I mean, this is for all the fans out there. What's your go-to 2K team? You're playing somebody. Who's your team?
It sounds crazy, but I actually play with the Kings a lot. I like
the Kings. Run the offense with De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah, I don't know if you know, like De'Aaron Fox when the game is like crazy fast.
Yeah,
dunks. So everybody is bang.
Shot,
I just spam with De'Aaron Fox all the time.
That's what I used to do, is play with Kobe back in the day. When he was the only player in the Lakers, just go play, drop 50 with Kobe on 2K.
Right.
So you got 2K, Madden, there you go. And Jyare, shortening up time here just before we get you up and out of here. Again, thanks for joining us here on Delaware Live. I'm coming in. Jyare Davis taking his talents back to the University of Delaware here. Going to put on a show for everybody here in his home state. And Jyare, any message you want to send to the University of Delaware fans, all our fans here in Delaware that have been keeping up with you these past few years?
I'm just really excited, really happy to be back home and play for you guys, and looking forward to do something special for the state of Delaware.
Absolutely. Again, Jyare Davis bringing his talents back to Newark. He'll be playing at the Bob Carpenter Center and the University of Delaware this upcoming season. Jyare, thanks so much, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.